How do? This is Selfsurprise. As you may have known, you may remember my last slightly rambling, slightly idiotic post that I made the last time where I didn't really plan what I was doing. Well, I thought this time, rather than reading some boring passage from a boring book that only I would find interesting or of any relevance at all, I thought I'd give you a little theme kind of post, because I don't, like I say, we all know that the Vokaroo thread hasn't been posted in for a few days, and I know Dobson was worried, and I know Grace doesn't know what to post because she's worried about noisy flatmates. To be honest with you, Grace, what you should do is she should just go and rugby tackle a lot of them, and then force them to read a script against their will. Because that'd be funny, especially if it was something completely like irrelevant, and they'd be like, they wouldn't know what to do. They're like, no, Grace, don't do this. Don't make us read this. I don't want to read this. And you're like, but you've got to read it. If you don't, I'll bitch slap you. Well, this has already got a bit weird. Anyway, on to the point. I'm going to read now. I'm going to tell you what my top 5 guiltiest pleasures are in music. The top 5 songs that I know I shouldn't like, but I actually do. So prepare yourselves. I mean, I'm worried that if I do tell you what they are, then your opinion of me will completely change. And to be honest with you, some of you are probably just thinking, but Self-Surprise, isn't everything you listen to a guilty pleasure? What about all that music you listen to that's by Nazis and paedophiles? Yeah, whatever, fine, don't panic. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about all the terrible music that I actually like and that I'm not even remotely ashamed of, even though I should be. But, here's 5 songs that I know that I shouldn't like, but unfortunately I do. I'm going to tell you about them. Here they are. Here's my 5 guiltiest pleasures in music. Now, the first one is Love Song for a Vampire by that Eurythmics lass, Annie Lennox, which you probably know it if you've watched the 1994 film version of Dracula. The one with Gary Oldman in, and Keanu Reeves is in it as well. It's the greatest performance he's ever done in his entire life. It's kind of he's at the peak of his acting abilities in this one. Just his accent is absolutely amazing. It's just Keanu Reeves trying desperately to do an English accent, managing somehow to sound like every single character from Downton Abbey, yet somehow not sounding like any of them at all. It's brilliant. He's like, yes, I'm Jonathan Harker, and I speak like this, at this level and tone, throughout the entire film, irregardless of what's actually happening, or what's happening to me, or my girlfriend, Winona Ryder. But anyway, I digress. I'm trying to. What's the main chorus? The main chorus of Love Song for a Vampire is. It's completely gone out of my mind now. That's very annoying. Sorry about that. I can't remember what the chorus is. It's oh yeah, I remember now. It's come into these arms again and set this spirit free. There you go. But you're all thinking now, we all laughed at him, but they want to sign me all up. No, anyway, no, I'm kidding anyway. But anyway, I think I best get on to the next song because that's already gone a bit weird. My second favourite guiltiest pleasure song is Happy Generation by Critical Mass, which is, cast your mind back to Britain in the 90s. This is when sort of happy hardcore and rave music it was actually okay to listen to this sort of thing without people assuming that you were some sort of crusty or stoner. Just kind of because everybody did. It's brilliant. I mean, you should definitely look this one up on the internet because the album cover is frankly just amazing. It's because it's got the 2 band members on the front. There's a woman in sort of purple spandex, and then the man just looks like a sex offender. Brilliant, you know what I mean? It's just like only in the 90s could you have done that. But I think you may remember that one. That had the chorus is get on up and free your mind. You're the future of mankind. We're the happy generation. And then it went to that bit. It went da 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 da. I want to see you jump to the bass line. Exactly, but it's like it was exactly that cool. But it's easy to laugh at that sort of thing now, but to be honest with you could probably laugh at it back in the 90s. It was always ridiculous to anyone who was remotely sane. But what I mean? It's such a happy, upbeat song. It's like you can't beat it for just being so cheerful and up there and just brilliant. But anyway, I'm halfway through this now, so I think I'd best get to here's my third one, and this one's not really a guilty pleasure, but the third one that I'm going to pick is I Wanted to Tell Her by Ministry. which is Daddy Pobbin posted it on the Now Listening thread this once, and I thought it was brilliant. Even though, to be honest with you, it sounds like the kind of music that the character Cat from Red Dwarf would make if he was a musician, you know, ow, sort of thing. But it's absolutely brilliant, so it's definitely worth checking out that one. I was slightly afraid of suggesting that one because I thought I'm just going to piss Daddy Pobbin off, and he says, don't you start mucking about with the ministry. I can't do it. I'm not going to even attempt to do a Belfast accent again because I know he's just going to kick the shit out of me if he ever finds me in real life because I'm the least hard person in the world. Anyway, moving on again, you know what I mean? Because there we go. Number 3, I'll reiterate that, was I Wanted to Tell Her by Ministry. Look it up because it's so unlike anything that the band Ministry have done ever since. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. It's like a completely different band. But anyway, number 4, and this one's probably my guiltiest pleasure, to be honest with you, but it's the song Operation Blade by... sorry, I'll be honest with you, the scripting for my little speech here, it's just a post-it note with like the song titles written on it, and I've like scratched some of them out, and it just says, in just horrible handwriting, just all the shit, so bear with me whilst I sort this out again. It's the song Operation Blade, Base in the Place London, by the band Public Domain, which... This is another one, if you go back to kind of, this was in the year 2000, so I was a teenager, and I suppose this is quite a sad thing, really, because this kind of music was really big in the 90s, you know, I mean, people didn't really laugh at it, it was kind of a, you know, it was kind of what people listened to back then, it was popular music, but then you get your feeling that, because I was a teenager in the year 2000, people were sort of just, people were kind of, you know, kind of like, this stuff started to seem quite dated by then. I think it's because, like you say, we were moving into the noughties, and it was just like people didn't really want to hear this sort of... It was like house music, which I think, if you remember, it was named the Operation Blade because it was named after that sample that they nicked from the Blade film. You know, at the start when he's in that techno-colour club with all the vampires, and he's in that really horrible scene where there's like all those vampires are being rained on with blood, and that one guy who's human is just going, "Oh my God, there's blood everywhere!" And then Blade comes in and just kicks the shit out of everyone. Well, because the original version of that song, which is in that film, which is a remix of a New Order song called Confusion, which is absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? You shouldn't even... That's not even remotely a guilty pleasure. It's such a fantastic piece of techno music. But this was just like a really shit kind of... It was kind of like the last hurrah of 90s house music. And it's a bit of a shame that sort of thing's laughed at now. Because, you know, it's such a good happy... It's not like... It's such a good upbeat song, even though there's nothing remotely kind of clever or kind of revolutionary about it. It's just a good piece of dance music, especially if you can find the proper extended version of it. So that's definitely worth looking up. But anyway, I've only got about 2 minutes left on this thing, so I'll round this up. My very last guiltiest pleasure song, which is probably the worst one on the list, but in a lot of ways the best one, is the song Body Talk by Rat, which... Rat, if you're not entirely sure who they were kind of a glam metal band from the 80s, which... It seems like they were the kind of sleazy rock band that it was okay if you were a Christian in the 80s for you to listen to. So, Body Talk, which is like, he's got this brilliant, he goes, "Body talk, I like your body talk, I like your body talk when you're next to me, dun 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 dun." Exactly, you know what I mean? Seriously, look it up, because it's just an amazing piece of music if you haven't already heard it. Well, there we go then, that's my 5 guiltiest songs. Just to reiterate, that was Love Song for a Vampire by Annie Lennox, which is, if you want to be all gothic and moody, then, you know, go for that one. Happy Generation by Critical Mass, if you just want to dance like an idiot. Operation Blade, Base in the Place London by Public Domain, you know, for much the same reason. I've missed one, sorry. I Wanted to Tell Her by Ministry. I mean, I know Podbean just, "Don't come your funny stuff with me." And then Body Talk by Rat, yeah. Look all those up, because, you know, they're definitely worth your time and effort if you can be bothered. So, yeah, there you go. 5 whole songs. I'm sure I could have come up with more, but I was going to also pick I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner, because that's also a good song. But I decided against that in the end, because I thought I've already kind of ruined my reputation enough is by admitting that I like Critical Mass and Public Domain, but don't worry about it. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll see you later. Bye.